Hey everybody. I listened to over 200 albums from 2025 and I wanted to make a video going over my top 50 favorites. I know 50 is still a lot, but it would feel like a disservice to do any less than that with the amount of good music that has come out in 2025. So yeah, here we are, we're gonna do that. A couple of things I want to throw out before we get fully into it. I'm going to have a playlist in the description. Every album I listened to from 2025, whenever I was listening to those albums and I finished the album, I would put my favorite song off of that album onto the playlist that I have linked in the description. So if you just want kind of a general grab bag of kind of everything I really liked, that's there if you would like. Also, this list will just be including albums, even though there were plenty of good EPs that have come out this year. And since that's the case, I just want to quickly throw on screen all of my favorite EPs from the year. And I specifically really wanted to shout out The Orchestra for Now with Plan 75 and Plan 76. Both of those EPs are amazing, and if they were an album, they would be top 5 of the year for me. So I would also like to just quickly say thank you so much to anyone who decided to give The Storm by 5 Point Palm Exploding Heart Technique a listen. It's a band I'm a part of. We worked really hard on it, and we're working hard on more stuff, so yeah. And I feel like I just need to say this. Of course, this list is just my opinion. This is me from the future, and I've already changed my opinions on some of the albums here. But I'm keeping it as it is because it's what I picked at the time, so you know, I don't want to change it all right now. Yeah, opinions change. This is just for fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first album at number 50 is That's Showbiz Baby by Jade. I didn't know a single thing about Jade before listening to this album, and I gotta say, like, this is some really, really good pop music. All around, the production is fantastic. Like, seriously, one of the best produced albums of the year. And I just think Jade is a very versatile songwriter that knows how to write some really good hooks. I really want to shout out Angel of My Dreams. That song has an incredible switch up from the intro to like the verse section, kind of. It's so cool. It is so cool. And I also want to shout out Fantasy. That song is really good. Next up, we have an album that I feel like is going to be a lot higher for some people, but I still really enjoyed it, and that's Lux by Rosalia. Another artist that I kind of didn't listen to at all before hearing this album, and I was super impressed with it. I mean, it is an insane achievement of an album, with just how orchestral it is, how grand it is, especially just in a more pop landscape. To just be this ambitious and go make an album that's just almost purely orchestral is so cool. Her voice is absolutely angelic, and all of the arrangements are beautiful. And also, my god, Bergen with Bjork and Yves Tumor is fucking nuts. What the hell? Just the violin runs on that song, and the amount of switches and tempo and like everything, it's just nuts. The vocals are nuts. Like that song is so insane. But I also really liked Reliquia and Divinize as well.
So take my picture. You told me I'm the one you wanted, you really wanted, but you don't love me like I love you. I don't believe you.
Next, we have more of a straight up just indie album with Portal by Balu Brigada. This album just has hooks for days. It is such a fun listen. The production especially hits so hard. Reminds me of the kind of production you'd find on like a Tame Impala album. Just all around, such a great debut album. They know what they're doing, just with guitar tones and production choices and songwriting choices. Like they wrote some really good hooks. Really want to shout out the song Backseat. That song is so infectious. That chorus is to die for. It is gold. Loved Sideways and what's the other one? What Do We Ever Really Know? That was the other one. But yeah, very solid debut. Next, we have Private Music by Deftones, an album that just really shows what's so great about Deftones, and I think it's probably their best record since Koi no Yokin, just in my opinion. I did really like Ohms, but I think this one just does everything so right with their sound. Production-wise, performance-wise, like so heavy, so thick, everything feels so full. And Chino's vocal sounds really good. They sound great. I know there was kind of a moment where he was in and out of it, but here it sounds so good. Really, really love My Mind is a Mountain. The verse beat switch where it's like the hi-hat takes over the kick pattern and they like switch. It's really cool. And then Milk the Madonna is awesome, and Cut Hands sort of reminds me of Limp Bizkit for whatever reason, but that one's also really cool. It just goes to show they've been doing this for a while. Like it's just cool to see them continue to make great music this late into their career. Next, we have Eusexual by FKA Twigs. Very well produced, kind of clubby sort of pop album. Love the freaking vibes on this thing. I think I read or heard somewhere that this album, the way she thinks about it is it's how the club, being in a club sort of space, makes her feel. Not necessarily just the club space itself, but how it makes her feel in that emotion. And I feel like that's such a cool way to look at it, because I definitely get that sort of feel, because it's a little bit more low-key of an album than, you know, like an actual club. It's more like, you know, hypnotic and groovy and entrancing, which, you know, a club can be, but in a more, you know, low-key way. But that's not to say these songs don't bump, because they do. Girl Feels Good is 100% my favorite on this album. Groove is so sick, and I love the little synth. It reminds me, like, very specifically of this Ratchet and Clank level I played like growing up, and I if I can find it, I'll throw it up on screen. It just gives me like a very futuristic but not futuristic vibe at the same time. Great song. And I also really want to throw out there that Room of Fools and the title track are also up there as my faves.
What the hell am I gonna do if I could never see you anymore? First night without you.
Next up, we have kind of a more just personal album that I grew to appreciate and love more throughout the year, which is Who Will Look After the Dogs by Pup. I got to catch Pup live a couple of times on the tour for this album with Jeff Rosenstock, and those shows were so goddamn fun. And not only that, but just getting to sit with this album for a while, getting to just jam out in the car and sing along with these songs a lot has made me really appreciate the album for just being a really fun listen. I feel like when it comes to pop punk, I think Pup knows how to do it in a way that just appeals to me. And also so many good hooks, great guitar, and I think Hallways, Get Dumber with Jeff, and Concrete are my faves, just all so catchy.
So I'm sitting now, half in the ears with the ghosts of my friends and the ghost of the world.
Next, we have In the Earth Again by Chat Pile and Hayden Pedigo. I didn't know too much about Hayden Pedigo before this album, but Chat Pile I've really appreciated for being one of the more unique metal acts today. They just have such a cool, like, kind of DIY sound. In this album, we get a completely different side of the band, which I honestly was kind of hoping for with their next album, because their first few records, they'll punch you in the face, right? Like, they're right there in your face. They're gonna hit you hard, and they're, you know, angry albums talking about the state of the world and everything that's going on and that's been going on. But with this album, we still do have some of that, but we do get a different side of their songwriting, which I'm super glad we have now. And I think Hayden Pedigo really brought that out of them to bring in some more melodic and softer song ideas. Really, really cool album. And I want to shout out, faves are probably Radioactive Dreams, which is a great example of just how they blend songwriting styles, and Hayden Pedigo's guitar work is just fantastic, tone-wise and performance-wise. It's so cool. But also, The Magic of the World is great, and The Matador is awesome, even though that's kind of just more of a back-to-basics Chat Pile song. I appreciate them switching up. Always excited to see where they keep going. Next up, we have a very stark difference from Chat Pile. Keep Moving by Dead Calm. Dead Calm is, for those who don't know, the same person behind Sign Crushes Motorists, which is kind of a semi-popular slowcore artist, but this is his folk project, and I definitely like this project pretty much more than anything else he's done. Deadcom released the album Accept either a couple years ago or last year, I don't remember. It was 2 years ago, okay. But that album just really appealed to me in the singer-songwriter folky side of things that still has such a just great DIY feel. And this album is just totally a continuation of that, but in a great way. And I think there's a couple of new things he adds with this one, mainly the violins that are on some songs, and also he gets a little bit more like intense and screamy with his vocals at some points here too, which I didn't expect, and I'm totally all for. I thought it was really cool. I think the back half of the album isn't as good as the first half, but man, some of these songs are so good. Like Bro, that violin is awesome. Slump is also really, really good. Just so emotive. I love it. I love my DIY folky stuff. So, and he nailed it on the head with this one. So.
Was it even before?
Next we have I Heard That Noise by Quickly. Just another really, really good indie album that has, I feel like it, I don't know it for sure, but just from the vibes, I feel like it was recorded DIY, but it still has such a good sound, and very crisp sound. I love the way the guitars especially sound. They're just so well done on the tone department. So that's always great. And then also I really love how light the vocals sound, and I really like the song I Punched Through the Wall. That one's been on repeat quite a bit for me, and I love just this. It's a really small segment of the song. It's like about to kind of blow up, but before it does, it goes a bit quieter, and there's just like a 3-second little like piano run, and I think that's just so fucking cool, and it's such a cool way to kick into that last chorus of the song. You Are is such a really cool, expansive, longer track. I really like Anything too. Solid hook, solid vibes. Next we have Glutton for Punishment by Heartworms. This is kind of a goth rock dance album. It kind of just instantaneously clicked with me. I love me some goth, like just eerie, kind of edgy sort of energy within an album, and this one really nails it. I think this is their debut too, and they did so good for a debut. All around, such a good sound. Everything sounds so full and punchy. I particularly love the vocals on this album. I just think her voice is so perfect for this kind of music. And I really want to specifically shout out 2 songs that really made this album work for me, and that's the song Just to Ask for a Dance and the title track. Both of those songs, they call back to each other with the hooks of the song and like even the lyrics. Just to Ask a Dance is kind of the opening song, and it's this ever-evolving song with a huge ending, and that ending hook comes back with the title track at the end of the album in a more folky context, and I really, really like that. Just when an album bookends it like that, so cool to me. And it's just so cool to hear the same idea in different contexts as well. But that's not the only great moments. I love the song Jacked as well. That's probably one I would put up there. But even then, all around, just so consistent and such a vibe of an album. Next up, we just have another really solid indie album with some really punchy guitars, vocals, and production, and that is Surgery and Pleasure by Wunderbar. Wunderbar was one of those bands that blew up with Alien Blues, I believe. I also really like the album that song is on, but I think this new record from them is a bit underrated, or at least underappreciated, because I think this is their best album since that album, and also a project that is just a little bit more unique for them, I feel. They switch it up a lot, song to song. Definitely their best produced album, in my opinion. The drums are so well done and so satisfying to listen to. But yeah, it's just so punchy. I love the guitar work. I love how weird and unique it is. I love how weird the vocals are too. They have some great hooks on this album, especially within the song Spades. Has the most interesting song structure, and the riffs are just nuts, constantly changing, and different rhythms and everything. It's so cool. And then you have songs like I Got Cracked, which is just a little bit more jagged and kind of like bouncy, which I really love. Great hook on that one. Let Me Bleed, underrated, super catchy. And also Life is a Movie. That one's, I think that was the lead single, and that one's really good too.
Face the torch, face the music, the crash. There's a war on the stage, let the glow into ash. Shake none.
The next few albums I have here, I would say are a bit underappreciated. I don't know, I don't see as many people talk about them, but I really like them. This one is It's a Beautiful Place by Water From Your Eyes, a band that's only continued to grow on me. When I first heard them, I liked them, but they just have such a unique sound. I mean, seriously, they are experimental. Like, you can put that tag on them and it would match everything they've done. From album to album to album, they switch up their sound very consistently. And this one, I feel like, it's just such a weird one for them, but I love it. I love how weird it is. There's 10 songs on the album. It's under 30 minutes. 4 of the songs are interludes, which is so weird, but like, it kind of works. It almost reminds me of like music aliens would listen to. I don't know, something like that. Because the first song's almost a punk song, and then Playing Classics, that song is like just a full-on dance song, and then Born To is a shoegaze song. It's just switching it up all the time, and I think it's so cool, and I think they really nail it. And when they land on a good song idea, they really do run with it. As I mentioned, Playing Classics, the groove on that song, so damn good. The freaking guitar lick and piano, everything, oh, so good. Knights in Armor is also fantastic, so freaking groovy. Rachel's vocals are a bit different, just as, you know, a vocalist generally. She sings a lot, and it's a little bit more low-key with the way she sings, but I think it's really cool. I think it's really unique. Even with how oddball of an album it is, it really scratches my brain. This one is for my DIY peeps. A Season's End by Drugbug. I believe this is one of the members from the band Willie Rodriguez, which has been a band that I want to check out. If you like Car Seat Headrest, I'd say that. If you like Car Seat Headrest, I think this will be for you. It just has that same sort of charm and DIY sound that works so well. Like, it's just so fun and really interesting to me. It's an album with, you know, happier sounding songs and then depressing ass lyrics, which, you know, you have plenty of those out there, but this album does it in a great way. And just, it captures a feel, it captures a vibe. I especially love the title track on this album. It's the closing song, it's the longest song. It's so fucking sick. I love the breakdown at the end. I love the swells in the beginning. I love how dramatic it is. Just a really cool song all around. But also Sprout and Cut Your Hair are really good too. Yeah, I'm excited to see where Drugbug goes. They released a great EP this year too. I'm an indie fella, so. Here we have Land of Pine by Sugar Cherry. This was a pretty last-minute addition to this list because it came out in December, but this thing's awesome. I think the best way I can describe it is like if Duster decided to make an indie folk band, kind of, or like any, you know, slowcore band decided to go folky, because this album captures such a specific feel and vibe that I just love. I adore it. It's so vivid in my mind, the feeling of this album, and it's a longer album. It kind of puts me in like a sort of liminal headspace. I almost imagine like a dark blue sky and it's like snowing outside. Like, look at the album cover. Just look at the album cover and it does perfect justice as to what the album sounds like. But just the specific feel to this one production wise is perfect. I would say Beautiful World is one of my faves. I love the hook on that one. Heroine's a little bit more energetic, which is cool, a little bit more noisy, breaks the kind of folky vibe for a second, and that's cool. But especially the song 10,000 Pines, the closing track. Nearly an 8-minute drone song that completely put me in a space. And like, there are just some specific drone songs that I fall in love with, and this is one of them. Like, just nails the feel perfectly. Whenever I heard this album for the first time, I was sick with the flu, and this song just like did something to me because it just like knocked me out. That one's a really cool moment, but underrated gem for sure. Like, this thing's awesome. Check it out if you like any sort of indie folk.
Good morning.
Here we have From the Pyre by The Last Dinner Party. I didn't really care too much for their first album. I liked it, but I like this one a lot more. I feel like it's more theatrical, it's more dynamic. I feel like they just do more interesting stuff with their song ideas and branch out a little bit more, and I just appreciate that, and it just vibes with my personal tastes a little bit more. I think my favorite on this one is probably The Killer Speaking. Totally reminds me of Kate Bush in like the best way. Again, so theatrical and so fun, and a great hook, great piano. I really love the guitars on Agnes Day. That one's awesome. And also I want to throw out Count the Ways. That one's good too. Great vocals, great production, very cool album. Here we have Lonely People with Power by Deaf Heaven. I know a lot of people like this band, and I haven't heard a single thing from them before this album. I know a lot of people love Sunbather, but this one's fucking awesome. Like, this is one of the most unique metal albums I've ever heard. It blends like sort of a shoegazy sort of thing with really heavy riffs. I don't know, it's so cool. It's very unique to my ears, at least. And I'm sure there's other bands that sound like it, but yeah, I apparently need to be in this vibe a little more because this album's so sick. The guitar tones on this album, so good. I specifically love the melodies on the guitars too, mainly on the song Amethyst. That song is incredible. There is like a genuine, like, sincere emotion to that one. I feel like generally across the album too, but that song just really moved me, actually, which I didn't expect, you know, a band like this to do. I don't know, I just didn't know what to expect, but it totally clicked with me. Amazing riffs on that song. And also I want to throw out that Garden Route. That one was also really cool. Some of the most unique metal I've ever heard, so. Next, we have an underrated gem of the West by Centuries. So Centuries is definitely, I feel like, a more underground artist. Like, I don't know how many people are familiar with Centuries, but they released a fucking sick punk album, I think a couple years ago, called Snow as a Metaphor for Death. And that one really shocked me. And this one's like equally good. Completely different vibe. I feel like their first record was a little bit more raw and noisy. This one still has some of that, but it's a little bit more post-punky and a little bit more clear and like precise with the playing and the production. A little bit more melodic too, I would say. I definitely think these guys deserve some more attention. I really like the song The Cowboy's Carcass. That one's really cool. Just the way the two guitars kind of interlap with each other is so satisfying. The way the song evolves too, great. Nails is really cool. That one's just a little bit of a longer, more just fucking crazy track. Dungeon Crawler is in your face, just nuts. Really underrated album, I feel, or at least not talked about as much as I thought it would be, just because it's so good. It's really, really good.
I'll tell my mama that her son made it. I haven't seen her, so our son dead. Her prodigal son was a prodigy. Praise to the people that think they on top of me. Love competition, I love getting vicious. I love showing up.
Here's the first hip-hop album of the list, I believe. This is the album Ego Trip by John Mitchell and Anthony James. I kind of just witnessed this one come out of nowhere. Like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know much about it, but I'll tell you, it's a fucking awesome hip-hop record. The samples on this album are so, I feel like, miraculously picked. I feel like the beats are so good, and what they're talking about is genuinely so striking and emotional, especially on a song like World's End. That one's incredible. One of the best hip-hop songs of the year. Just glad to see them get some attention. I believe this is their only project, and it's so cool. It's just so cool to see music like this come to fruition and be popularized within the scene. It's great. Preacher's also really good. I wanted to shout that one out. That one's sick. Just so consistent. Like, seriously, not a single bad song on this thing. Just great vibes all the way through.
To some degree, I can pull myself apart.
Next up, we have Never Exhale by Ditz. These guys are so sick, y'all. Like, these guys fucking slap. Post-punk, kind of noise rock with this album. I actually don't know exactly where they're from. Oh, they're from the UK. they nail this really dark energy with this album in terms of the riffs, in terms of just the way the songs progress. There's a lot of songs focused kind of just on atmosphere, but in a more back to basics way. Like there's really not like a ton of extra instrumentation or anything. Like it's just, you know, guitar, bass, drums, vocals, but the things they do with those guitars and vocals, they sound kind of creepy and weird. And my favorite example of that is the song The Body is a Structure. For sure my favorite on the album. Such a badass song. Like if you like post-punk in any way, go listen to that song right now because it is so badass. One of my favorite post-punk songs of the year, for sure. The way it evolves as a song, the way the bass is just so sludgy, the beat is so simple but hard as fuck, the vocals are so sinister. Such a good song. So good. But the guitar on this song, especially in the verses, is really interesting because, as I was saying, they create an atmosphere, and they do it by kind of just like plucking the ghost notes on the strings, and it makes for just a really cool sound, and they do it in such a cool way. Well, because they're still like kind of hitting notes, they're like kind of palm muting, but it doesn't even sound like normal palm muting. I don't know, it's weird. Regardless, it's awesome. And I also want to shout out Senor Sinestro. That one's really cool too. The build to the climax of that song is chill inducing. Taxi Man's also awesome. Brittany, the closing track, that one's crazy too. Another one with just an amazing build. Yeah, I'm going to be excited to see these guys continue on. This one's sick. Next, we have more of a dreamy listen with Portals/Polarities by Night Tapes. Didn't know this band at all before this album, and it's really pretty, really dreamy. Kind of has some trip-hop vibes in there every now and then, which is really cool. And I think with this sort of dreamy atmosphere, it kind of makes for an interesting and really satisfying combo. Kind of reminds me of Beach House, but maybe a little bit more groovy in some areas. They just know how to create some really great soundscapes that are also very hooky as well. I mean, look at this album cover. Like it's that. Like imagine you're just drifting through space and you're going into that portal. Like that's what it sounds like. That actually kind of sounds terrifying now that I'm thinking about it a little bit. But if there was no fear in existence, that would be awesome, right? I think Baby Girl is probably my favorite one. That's a good example of one that kind of utilizes that trip hop sort of feel. Television, Patience, all great tracks. Just another really consistent album from front to back. Throw it on in the background one day if you just want a really chill, beautiful, serene experience.
Another signal from reality.
Number 30, we are almost halfway there. Wow. Here we have Carpe Diem Moon Man by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. These guys are sick. I've liked these guys for a bit, but I think this is their best album. Like, just straight up, I think it's their best album. The guitar tones are, like, perfect. They're so fuzzy and thick. And oh my god, these guitarists are so talented. Just mind-boggling riffs. It's so technically impressive. But not only that, but they're like actually really infectious melodies. The vocals are super fun and aggressive. It's a really energetic album with some spacey moments in there too. I feel like when you have that silly little moon guy on the cover, you gotta have at least something a little spacey. Very psychedelic, obviously. Yeah, March On for Pax Ramona, probably my favorite on the album if I had to pick. Absolutely love the main riff and the amount of switch-ups and the amount of heavy switch-ups there are. These riffs go hard, they hit hard. A good example of a more spacey moment would be the song Scapegoat. Just a straight up more catchy song, more vibey. Still some really cool effects and riffs on that one. And then also Out the Universe Pours. That one is, again, just listen to the fucking main riff on that song. And you, like it is nuts. It is nuts. It's just shreddy awesomeness. It's great. Yeah, they're a super fun band though. They've always been, but I feel like they're kind of perfecting their sound. Next here we have Luminescent Creatures by Ichiko Aoba. Japanese singer, songwriter, folk artist. This is my first full album from her, and I'm unbelievably impressed with it. It's so fucking gorgeous. Another one of those albums where you look at the album cover, that's what it sounds like. That's just the best way to describe it. You're just like laying in the most beautiful gradient of all time. I love the piano on this album. I love the guitar work on this album. The folky instrumentation is beautiful. Her vocals are stunning. Just the soundscapes. There's some orchestral moments here. It is truly an album to get lost in. Like if you want to just close your eyes, turn on something, and feel something, this is the album to do that too. And I'm excited to hear more from her because this was just gorgeous in every sense of the word. Tower, Luciferine, Coloratura. Those are my favorite tracks for sure on this one. Next we have Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You by Ethel Cain. Ethel Cain's really cool. Very interesting songwriter. I know she's kind of big right now. This album is really cool. Very post-rock. Very expansive. I actually haven't heard Preacher's Daughter in its entirety yet. Maybe that's a bad thing, but I really like this one, and I think it's just so impressive. Just the song structures, her voice is just so chilling and gorgeous. Definitely more melodic than her past project. Waco, Texas is such a climactic, emotional moment as the last song on the album. It's such a long song. There's quite a few long songs, like Tempest too, and that's why it's so post-rock. Like a lot of these songs build, and especially Tempest gets a little bit fiery. Just a really impressive project. Nettles is great too for being a little bit more low-key but still very passionate and has its moments. Yeah, just pretty stuff. She's a great songwriter, and I was super impressed with this one.
Tattered feathers became the Achilles heel, chasing affinity to describe how sunshine feels on the red moon. Black sun, father figure, mama's gun.
We have Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon. This record is so nuts. I love it. I really liked McKinley Dixon's last project too. It was Beloved Paradise what? Oh my god, that's gonna kill me. What is it? Beloved Paradise Jazz. There it is. That one was really cool too. I just think his live instrumentation is so damn good. Jazz rap masterclass. Like on that album and this one. I think I like this one even more than his previous. It's just so impressive, and I love what he's talking about. Again, you really have some more emotional moments in there, but even stuff about just like his history. It's really cool. It's really cool. I think the title track's probably my favorite, if I had to pick. That one's so fun. I love the trade-off he does with the backing vocals on that one. And just, again, the instrumentation, dude. It's on another level. It's on another freaking level. It could have been different. Recitative, I believe that's how you say it. That one's also cool. That one's also really cool. Just so impressive. I mean, dude, like, his level of lyrical ability, the way he talks and sings and raps, it's just fucking awesome. Like, it's so badass. He's so badass. This guy knows what he's doing, and he's doing it real well. Yeah, Magic Alive is great. Next up, we have a bit more of like a black metal album, which I'm not really that normally drawn to. I just haven't really gotten into it. But this album's fucking awesome. This album slaps. The Spiritual Sound by Agriculture. Guitar work, so good. Riffs, so heavy. I love the vocals. I love that there's enough variation between some of these songs. There's kind of like a shoegaze song in there at one point. I love freaking Bod Hidharma. That one, oh my god, that main riff is brutal. The solo at the end and the way like the verses are so bare, it's kind of creepy. It's really tense. And then you have like that that shit's awesome. That song so totally made the album click for me, because I liked it on first listen, the first half of the album, but then that song came on and I'm like, I'm sold, dude. I'm so for this shit. I also thought The Reply was another huge standout. I love kind of a more melodic, emotional ending to the album. So many great moments here. Just so impressive. These guys are on it.
Just got back from overseas. Spent a lot of time there lately.
Okay, we're halfway there, starting on this album. This is Pirouette by Model Actress. These guys are so sick. I loved their debut album, Dog's Body. That one was so dark, so twisted, fucking brutal. Like, that shit was nuts. A bit of a hard one for me to get into at first listen, but it clicked. And I'll tell you, I think this album is just as good. And also, it has like a little bit more of a melodic edge to it, because Dog's Body was just more noise focused. This is a little bit more focused on melody. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of moments here that are very noisy, whether it's Diva, which is probably my favorite on the album, with that just crazy groove and some of those bursts into each section. The way the guitars are hitting the strings, so cool and unique. Cinderella is another great like dancey, hard-hitting example, but I also really want to mention the song Acid Rain, which is probably their most melodic song.
Suddenly, I don't wanna leave this garden alone.
I don't know how you make a song like that. It's so interesting on the production and just performance end. The acoustic guitar is so just, it's such a, like a stark contrast from what you would expect with a Model Actors album, but it's so good. And this dude has such a great voice. I feel like he gets so up and close and personal with you, like especially just in the studio. It feels like he was right up on that mic. It's a really cool album, and one I've definitely just appreciated. I mean, they're another band where I'm just like, I will be keeping my eye on what they do next, because both of their albums as of so far are fantastic.
I don't wanna pay for anything, clothes and food and drugs for free. If it was 1970, I'd have a job in a factory.
Next, we got the boys, the Viagra Boys, that is, with their self-titled album. I've loved these guys. These guys are awesome. They're just so fun. They make bangers, but these songs are fucking hilarious. They always got some sort of story to tell with their songs, and I really like that. This truly does feel like a self-titled album to a degree, because it's not as like out there as an album like Cave World, but it still has plenty of just Viagra Boys isms. It's not breaking any boundaries for them, but they're doing some great stuff here. Such catchy, fun songs. Man Made of Meat was the lead single. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, it's a Viagra Boys song. And then I kept listening to it, and I'm like, wait, this song is fucking hilarious. And then I kept listening to it, and now I know every word to the song. Probably one of my most listened to songs of the year. Love the instrumentation, and the chorus is so catchy. I also love Waterboy. That one's really catchy.
And all day at the nail salon.
Oh, Dirty Boys, that one's really cool. Again, one of those just very like that is a Viagra Boys song if I've ever heard one. They're just so fun. I don't know how you can't have a good time with them. It's not my favorite album from them, personally. I think probably that would go to Cave World, but they are doing everything right on this album, and it's still great. So
On the speak to the bullet, but hear the screams as a bullet crack the fuck up.
next we have one of the most unique hip-hop albums I feel like I've ever heard, and that is Only Dust Remains by Backwash. This is such a badass album. It's so potent. It's so important. I feel like this album, what is being talked about, is incredibly beautiful. Everything going on here, seriously. Not only that, but these songs and the sounds of these songs are so unique. It genuinely is hard for me to explain the sound of this album because it's just so unique. Like, I genuinely do not think I've heard a hip-hop album, or any album for that matter, that sounds like this one. Whenever I just put it on for the first time, I was just like, what? But again, that is like the biggest compliment I can give, because it sticks out in the best way. Wake Up, one of the best songs of the year. Seriously, go listen to that song. It's incredible. Just everything that is being talked about. The fucking like repeated like sample beat is awesome. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure there's live instrumentation across a lot of this album. I could be wrong in some. I mean, it feels very punchy and very like real and live. I don't know, but Wake Up is so good. History of Violence, again, one that is just so potent lyrically, and Black Lazarus is also a great one too. This is a very special album, and I'm so glad I gave it a chance, because I didn't know what to expect, and I loved it. I really did. Some really beautiful, hard-hitting stuff here. 45 Pounds, Yahweh Nailgun. I've had a crazy relationship with this album. The first time I heard it, I was just like, I just didn't know what to make of it. Like, I heard it and I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't dislike it at all. Like, I liked it, but I was just so like, what is this? And then one of my good friends showed me one of their first EPs. And I was like, okay, this is sick. And then another one of my friends showed me another one of their EPs, and I'm like, this is really sick. And then I just kind of kept hearing this album from them, and it totally clicked with me. This thing is just, it's such a weird band. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing works so well, and it's so entertaining and so crazy and awesome. I think the best thing about this band is the drums. The drums are seriously incredible. I remember there was like a night where I literally was just like listening to this album and I was like, I need to look up some live performances of these guys. I just went down a rabbit hole. Watching this drummer play is so awesome. He uses it's like those 80s sounding kind of toms. Kind of toms. What is the name of those kind of toms? Rototoms. That's it. Rototoms. The use of that is really cool, and it's used in such a different context compared to, you know, something like the 80s and how they used it. But it's awesome. I also gotta just talk about how this band, there's a synth player, yes, but there's also a guitarist in this band. And if you listen to this album, it doesn't sound like there's a guitar on this album at all. It sounds like a synth. And I've seen them live, or haven't seen them live, but I've seen them perform live on YouTube, and he has like this crazy pedal board, and it's just about like swelling the guitar to make it sound kind of like a synth. It's so cool. And then getting to the weirdest part about this band, the vocalist. Like, what the hell is this vocalist doing? It is just like, he just sounds like he's dying. He sounds like he's getting like stabbed. I don't know. It's really funny to me, but it also, again, for whatever reason, works. My favorite song, without a doubt, is the song Tear Pusher. It's so hard hitting, dude. Like, Tear Pusher. My god, it's so awesome. Dude, oh my god, the switch up at the end of that song, the fucking, like, the way those drums enter into the end section of that song, some of like the heaviest sounding drums I've ever heard. It's nuts. That song is so awesome. I also really like Penetrator, and I really like Blackout. Those are also really good ones. Yes, 45 Pounds, really cool album that I'm so glad I was able to kind of appreciate more as the year went along. So next up, we have such a fun album. This thing is such a good time. Worldwide by Snooper. This is the album that made Snooper click with me. I liked their last project, and I even saw them open for Machine Girl at one point. But this album is awesome. Personally, just for me, I like the more post-punky vibe here, and I like the more crisp production. It feels just a little bit more punchy to me. Some people have been saying it's in the genre of egg punk, which I've heard about. I think you just gotta hear it to know what it sounds like. I mean, it's punk, but like, I feel like the singer is just has that weird sort of energy. The singer's definitely one of the more unique parts about this band because it's so just like kind of rambly, but in like a higher register. But yeah, the title track, so groovy. That's my favorite one on the album. I love it. I love the dance vibes to that one. And then also Blockhead. That song is just one of the fastest punk songs I've heard this year. That's just so fun to listen to.
Something small, I can hold, something easy to control. Choose a player, navigator. Sometimes I feel out of control. Play.
Relay is fantastic. Guard Dog is great. Oh, Hologram. I really like that one too. If you like punk with kind of like a garagey vibe to it, this one's for you, for sure. It's such a fun listen. Okay, top 20. We're getting there. We're really getting into some of my faves. Number 20, we're going to go with Cutthroat by Shame. For those of you who know me and know the channel at all, I'm a very big Shame fan, and they're a windmill band that came out of the UK and just has such a great punchy flavor of post-punk that I really love. And every album they've switched it up in some way, and I feel like they really climaxed with the more emotional side of their sound on Food for Worms, and then they came out with this album. I've kind of seen some people receive this album as just not as good as their other stuff for whatever reason. I mean, me personally, I'm a sucker for this sort of sound, and I just still think they're nailing it on all fronts. Like, I really do. It's definitely a little bit more of a grab bag album than it is a more cohesive listen, like some of their past records. But the songs go hard. They slap. Freaking Charlie, amazing singer, so charismatic and fun. And just the rest of the band accompanies that with some really great, catchy riffs. I want to especially mention the song Pack Shot. That is probably up there with some of their best songs. It could have fit right onto Food for Worms, probably. It's a little bit more sinister and a little bit more dramatic, and just that chorus riff, dude, oh, it goes so hard. And I love the closing track, Axis of Evil, one of their most like just different songs in their catalog. It's just straight dancey and more synthy. I also love the title track, even though what the hell is going on with the lyrics of that one? I don't know. It's funny to me. Quiet Life, super catchy and charming. Screwdriver, that one's a more in-your-face track. That one's awesome. Plaster, that was the one I was thinking of. That one's really cool too. Love the lead synth line on that one. I don't know. There's a lot to love about this album to me. Even though I was seeing some people kind of be like, I don't know. I really, really like just their sound generally, so it's kind of hard for me to dislike one of their records. Next, we have another very late addition to this list because it also came out in December. We are going to go with Blizzard by Dove Ellis. So I recently saw Geese live, and these guys opened up for them, and I thought the show was good. I thought they did a good job opening. I wasn't personally like super blown away, but I wasn't very familiar with them at all. That's because they hadn't even released their debut album yet. But I'll tell you, once that album came out, and I sat with it over the last, I guess, month now, it's so good. Another album that's just perfect for winter. It has been aiding my December in such a important way. It's just such a gorgeous album. Like, every song, his vocals are so impressive. They're so fucking dynamic and gorgeous. He has so much control over his voice in a very impressive way. Again, the songwriting, it's more of a singer-songwriter vibe in some moments and not in others. The folky sound here is just right up my alley. It's what I love in albums like this. So many catchy melodies, so many heartfelt songs, so emotional in so many moments. Great, great, great lush instrumentation. Just genuine passion radiating from this album. There's a lot of favorites. To the Sandals was the song that really, really struck me on first listen. I love the acoustic guitar riff on that one. Super catchy. On more re-listens, the song Pale Song, Jaundice, and also Little Left Hope. All of those songs really, really clicked with me. God, and Little Left Hope makes me pretty emotional, I'm not gonna lie. That one hits in the feels pretty hard. God, the harmonies on that song are amazing, and just the main melody, it's so good. I love this album, y'all. I love it. For a debut, I'm so stoked to see where they go. Loving the shit out of this one.
What does that feel like? What does that feel like? Oh my God. What does that feel like?
I just personally wanted to go with this one because of how emotionally it impacted me. But we're gonna go with Balloonerism by Mac Miller. This is his second posthumous album. Dude, this album is so brutal, man. It's really sad. It is really sad. And apparently he made this album like a while back too. But this is just such an impactful hip-hop album. Not even just because of the context around it, but because of the lyrics and the way the songs are organized and just how emotive some of these songs are. Like, just, and even in the instrumentals I can feel it, which is real. I feel like something pretty special. I love Mac's voice. I just think like, for whatever reason, his voice just really works and clicks with me. I honestly like haven't heard a lot of his other records or anything. Like, I mean, I've heard, you know, a song here or there from him, but I mean, I instantly clicked with this album. Seriously, the moment I heard DJ's Chord Orient, it sent chills down my spine. Like, it is such a hypnotic, beautiful song. I love the beginning especially. It's one of the most psychedelic moments of the album. And SZA does great on that song too. Rick's piano, dude, just stabbed me in the heart at that point. Like, some of those lyrics, man. I wonder if the blind mice even want to see. I wonder if a deaf father can hear his daughter scream. Is there a heaven? Can you see the God in me? I don't know, probably. But for now, we'll keep waiting. And just, oh my god, the end refrain too on this song. What does death feel like? I wonder what does death feel like? Fuck, man. This shit's brutal. It's honestly like such a good album that I have returned to a lot, but that doesn't make it an easy listen. I mean, you can take another moment that immediately comes to mind when you get into the more emotional side of this album is Tomorrow We'll Never Know. That is such an impactful closing track. It really is a very special album and a very chilling listen. I remember the first time I finished this album, I was just like still afterwards. The rest of the day I was just kind of like out of it, you know? And there's even some more groovy moments here too, like Do You Have a Destination, which is fucking amazing, and $5 Pony Rides, and also Funny Papers. I know a lot of people love that one, and I really like it too. Mannequins is also really fucking good. It's a great album. So yeah, rest in peace to Mac Miller. Very, very special songwriter. This is one of my most listened to bands right now, and it's also an album that I've had on repeat constantly, and that's gonna be the album 1000 Variations on the Same Song by Frog. If you want catchy, kind of tongue-in-cheek, indie, folky stuff, like, these guys nail it, and I love this album. Some of their past records I like just slightly more, but they don't have a bad album in their discography, in my opinion, and they have quite a few albums, not a single bad one. They scratch that itch in my brain so hard. But this album, you know, with some of their past stuff, they were a little more folky. This album, more of a full band sound. Nearly every song is just so catchy and so infectious and so fun. Very unique vocalist, and he utilizes his falsetto a lot. It's not like a groundbreaking album, but it's just one that I really like and have stuck with through the whole year. Stillwell Theme is probably my favorite on the album, but I also really love Doom Scrolling. Please, these guys need more love. I love them so much. From the bottom of my fucking heart, I love them. But yeah, Frog, the best band of all time. Honestly, probably. Next, we have the album Birthing by Swans. I did a video on this album a little bit ago, and it's just another mind-blowing, insane experience that Swans always brings to the table, especially with their most recent material. They're just insane. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about Swans that hasn't already been said. This album is a continuation of their grand energy and their expansive song structures. I mean, there's not a short song on this album. I mean, there's 20-minute songs left and right on this thing. Like, it is an album that is going to test you, as with any Swans album. It's one of their better albums, I would say. It's up there for me. All around, like, the guitars sound insane, the backing vocals are amazing, and obviously Michael's vocals are great. I love just the insane drops as normal. Like, it's a Swans album, and it does everything right. So, that's all I can really say. It's great. The title track and also The Healers are probably my two faves. The Merge has one of the most crazy openings to a song. The first time I heard that song, it scared the shit out of me.
I love you, Mommy.
They're nailing it. They're still nailing it. Okay, as we keep going up the list here, you're probably going to notice a trend in the kind of music that I'm putting a little higher. And that's my love for jazz, prog, noise, rock, something. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And this is kind of one of the first albums on that sort of train. This is the album Deseo Carne y Voluntad by Candelabro, a Chile band. A band from Chile. I fell in love with it. I mean, it is It's a long album. There's a lot of songs, but it's so impressive on every front. I mean, just the fucking performances on this thing. Like, there's so much talent radiating from this band on every level. I just love when rock bands add more orchestral elements within them. Has some Black Country New Road isms, actually kind of strong Black Country New Road isms in some of the instrumentation. I love when they go a little bit harder with the song Picado. That's probably my favorite on the album. I just, again, love the freaking breakdown in that song. It's so awesome. I'll tell you, it's just like I heard it for the first time and I'm like, this is one of the best of the year. Just straight up because of how much it impressed me instrumentally and performance wise. Tumba, another one of my favorites. Haz de Mi, probably another one of my favorites as well. Yeah, these guys are sick. These guys are very sick. Check it out if you like any of that crazy stuff. They're an awesome band. And again, there's gonna be more of this sort of music coming up, but we'll get there when we get there. Psycho Warrior MG Ultra X by Machine Girl. You want some batshit insane digital hardcore music? That is this album. It is probably my favorite Machine Girl album. It is so fucking insane. It is like an overload on the senses, but it goes so hard. It goes so fucking hard. It's digital hardcore cranked to the max. Blast beats, crazy drums, insane sound effects all the time, constantly, really distorted and heavy bass guitar, tons and tons of different samples. Vocalist sounds like he was sent from the aliens of like death and destruction. just an insane listen. And I've honestly had a good bit of it on repeat, especially the song Dread Architect featuring Drum Corps, which just Jesus, dude. Oh my god. The breakdowns in this song, the amount of just insane switch ups, the vocals, it's the most metal I think Machine Girl's gotten, especially in that breakdown. And the way it picks up again at the end, it is truly and honestly insane. There's that one, and I would put Psycho War just straight into that same category with just such heavy bass and breakdowns and everything. Come On Baby, Scrape My Data, another one of my favorites. Rabbit Season, those are a little bit more just catchy to me. Yeah. This thing's nuts. This thing is nuts. I can't even imagine putting something like this together. I think Machine Girls just had that experience and knowledge and kind of has just been developing it constantly through all of their records. Truly a overload of a listen in the best way possible. So this next one, a lot of people wouldn't consider this an album, but I consider it an album because the band themselves said it was an album. I get why people are calling it an EP, but I'm counting it as an album. It's Apiary by Ginger B. This is a like screamo scrams band that has Mario Kart music as the background. That is the best way I can describe Ginger B, like, especially with this album, because their first, I guess, EP was a little bit less, like, crazy with the amount of instrumentation, but, I mean, there was still so much going on with it, and it's a great EP. Our Skies Smile, that one's really good, but Apiary levels up on every single front. Seriously, it is such an impressive, insane listen. It's really interesting how we get like some bossa nova, samba vibes every now and then out of nowhere. It's awesome. The amount of just different switch ups is crazy. Like seriously, there's just like constant switch ups, especially with a song like Pedal Dance. Just seriously insane vocals, insane screaming. This is how you do a screamo album right, and very, very well. I also want to say Honey is a song that grew on me a lot. Pinhole Blanket Sun is great. Say the Rest is really good. I really love the whole record. It's short, straight to the point. I feel like it's very lush too. Like if you look at this album cover, it does in a way sound like that, but just in a very different tint. You know what I mean? Apparently they're breaking up sort of soon. I think they have their last show planned, which is kind of sad. I wonder why. But yes, Ginger Bee is awesome. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Next, we have the album Forever How Long by Black Country New Road. It'd be a crime for me not to include this. This is their first proper studio album after Ants From Up There, which was such a phenomenon of an album and one of my favorite albums of all time. And after, you know, losing a lead singer, and now we have 3 other members taking over the role of that vocal spot. And that's a little nerve-wracking, but the live record they released kind of reassured me. It's like, what was I worried about? And this album's fantastic. It's really, really good. I wouldn't put it up there with the first 2 Black Country albums personally, but it's still amazing, and all of the members in this band are so talented in their own right. And I'm so glad we're getting an album where we're seeing so much diversity with the way they're switching up their vocals and just their sounds and their styles. Like, it's so much different than anything Black Country New Road was before, but they're doing everything right, and they're doing it so well. I think my favorite of the 3 singers is probably May. I just think her voice is so gorgeous, mainly because of Turbines from their live record, but also because of For the Cold Country that is on this one, and it is so insane. Her voice is otherworldly. She is an angel. But seriously, every vocalist has their shining moment on this album, with Two Horses and Georgia singing that one, and then also Nancy Takes the Night with Tyler singing that one, and they all do fantastic.
On your face, but it's covered in apple. You want it. Oh no, and do you want it now?
Those are definitely my 3 favorites. I just love the intensity to all of those songs, really. Mainly, I feel like For the Cold Country is a little bit more wistful, but then you have a song like Nancy Takes the Night, which is so much more intense and dark. And Two Horses is pretty fucked up, too, lyrically. But the sound of it, and all 3 of those songs are so different, yet so cool. I feel like this album was just kind of a album to really experiment and try different things and get, you know, just so many different ideas out. And I think that's really cool. And I feel like you can hear the fun they had in the studio with the album. Obviously, all the violin, all the saxophone is fantastic. Lewis is amazing. I love Lewis. Guitar work, drum work, everything. It's all great. They're all insanely talented musicians, so you can't go wrong there. I will say, I'm so happy they are a band still. Next up, Hornet Disaster by Weather Day. Indie DIY greatness. I totally clicked with Weather Day. Weather Day was actually, to my surprise, my most listened to artist of this year, so that says something. Hornet Disaster is their sophomore album, Sputnik and Company. I think I like Come In a little more, just for having some more distinct songs, but this album has hook upon hook upon hook. Every song is catchy in some way. Every single one. And this is a lengthy album. It's so impressive to me how there's not a single bad song, and every single song has something super catchy about it. Whether it's a riff, whether it's a vocal part or a melody, whether it's some sort of crazy switch up, because there's actually some really cool synth work every now and then within the album. And I also really like their stripped back moments on this album as well. I know a lot of people were looking forward to this one too, because I mean, Come In came out in 2019, so it's been 6 years since then, which is kind of nuts, but it's just a very noisy album that has a great DIY sound. My favorite songs, again, if I had to pick, probably Agatha's Goldfish I would put pretty high up there. That one's really, really catchy. Nostalgia Drive Avatar, that was my favorite song on first listen, and it's still one of my favorites. Oh man, Ripped Apart by Hands, love that one. Can't recognize myself, not that I tried to. Can't recognize myself, not that I tried to. More folky on that one, or not folky, but just acoustic, really, singer-songwritery. But so many cool effects on that song, like the atmosphere and just like the little sprinkles of electronics are so cool. What else? Blanket's awesome. So catchy. One of the catchiest on the album. Green Tea, Seaweed Sea. I love Angel. That was a fun single. There's so many good songs. Like, Hug is really good. Meanie is really good. Radar Bullet's fucking awesome. Polka is great. Like, there's so many good songs on this album. It's a very consistent album, and that's why it's so high on the list. Even though a lot of it sounds pretty samey through the whole album, the reason why it works is because of how catchy each song is. That's, I think, my best way to put it. The whole DIY nature to it, and I love Sputnik's vocals. That's a whole thing with me and vocalists a lot of the time. They don't need to be perfect, they just need to be passionate. Yeah, Horn of Disaster, it's great.
Quiero un sujeto con juicio real. Oh, ¡ah! Ser dueña de casa, amar. Ser dueña de casa, amar, criar, cuidar, velar. Por mi seguridad.
Top 10, baby. We are on the top 10. These are, in my opinion, the best of the best here. I'm so stoked to get into these. Landing at number 10, we're going to go with the album La Bray by Hesse Kassel. As I was mentioning earlier, this is another one of those jagged post-punk prog bands that I happened to stumble upon. Also from Chile, same as Candelabro. I like this one even more, and I like it more specifically because of the genre blends and just how dark it sounds. I think La Bray stands for the tar. That even like brings a more menacing tone. It's a very sinister album, and I love that. I love me a sinister album. You can put this shit on the same level as like Swans in terms of how expansive the song structures are and how grand the instrumentation is. I think there's 3 guitarists in this band, so it just gives them such a full sound. Like, it's so punchy. I feel like all of them fit in their role so perfectly, going from section to section and part to part. It's very anxiety inducing too, kind of this same way as like the first Black Country New Road album. Not a single song under 7 minutes, or my bad, actually there is one song under 7 minutes, but only one. Every other song is over 7 minutes. I really love, probably my favorite is the song Postparto. The amount of fucking awesome and insane switch-ups are off the charts. Oh my god, the ending too, where they're all just lining up with each other, hitting the same, like, just one note over and over again. It's just pounding it into your fucking head. It's awesome. And I love the piano that comes in every now and then too. Some of the more melodic tracks, that's definitely present, but I think I'm the biggest fan of just the more aggressive, like, kick you in the face tracks. Postparto is my favorite of those, but also the album closer, Yo La Tengo. Fucking end of that song just keeps going. Like, you think it's gonna stop and then it just keeps going. A La Tour is also on that same level. It's just a really fucking awesome technical song. And again, the melodic moments are really good too. Like, I think out of the melodic moments, I'd probably say Anova is probably my favorite, but you really can't go wrong with any song on this album because it's all really good. Check it out again if you like any of that sort of jagged post-punk. Going straight to another album in this sort of insane post-rock punk jazz shit. We're going with the album Angry Noises by Cisnene, a band from Poland, I believe. 4 songs on this album. You want to guess how long they are? Yeah, there's not a single song under 7 minutes. There's 4 songs, and it's a 58-minute album. The opening track to this album. That song is called My Childhood Was a Period of Waiting for the Moment When I Could Send Everyone and Everything Connected with It to Hell. That is the first song on this album. And let me tell you, holy shit. This is like top 5 songs of the year. Like, I am genuinely so mind blown every single time I hear this song. It's an 18-minute song, and it opens with a saxophone. It's one of the most menacing, disgusting sounding saxophones I've ever heard. And the way they just build it up and build it up and build it up. And then when it hits that fucking peak, it is brutal, dude. It is brutal. And the way they speed it up halfway through and get like very punky and switch up so many of the grooves. And then you get into this piano ballad portion of the song, and then that builds all the way up to this huge crescendo and release. And the chord progression is so cool too. Like, I'm nerding out. I am. But I'm so impressed by this specific song. And the whole album's amazing too. But this song truly blew my mind. Fucking socks flew off my feet the first time I heard this song. Very heavy, avant-garde, noisy shit here. Seriously, every single song is great. You can't go wrong. It just depends if you like this sort of noisy, progressive music. It's definitely the most noisy out of the albums I've talked about in this realm, but it does not sacrifice the technical ability and quality here. Another one that I just heard like right at the end of the year, and I'm like, this is going all the way up there on the list. So amazing shit. I'm gonna need to listen to more of their stuff. Next, number 8, we are gonna go with The Scholars by Car Seat Headrest. After 5 years of not releasing anything, they're back with a ginormous concept album and the most ambitious thing they've done since Twin Fantasy, for sure. I honestly was just a really big fan of this one. Like, I think it's one of their better records, like actually it's really hard to say. I'd say top 5. That doesn't sound very high, but I guess they have a lot of albums. Car Seat Headrest has quite a bit, but it's really good. It's really, really good. It has some of their best songs on it, whether you're talking about Planet Desperation, an 18-minute opus, or Reality, which is featuring I believe Andrew's his name. Let me check. No, Andrew's the drummer. Wait, what's the guitarist's name? Ethan Ives. That's the guitarist. He does a lot more vocal stuff on this album, and it works really well. I really like his voice. I think it very much fits the vibe. Kind of reminds me of David Bowie in some areas for whatever reason, and I think that's kind of cool.
You said you'd take me away on a starship, but baby, why you had to wait so long? I got bored of all this and didn't listen.
But Planet Desperation and Reality are definitely my 2 faves. Gethsemane is awesome too. That was the lead single, 10-minute banger. Car Seat Headrest has always done this, but I also love how much songs call back to each other. Like Gethsemane, the main melody in that song reappears in Planet Desperation at the end, which is just so cool. It's so climactic, gives me chills. Really cool to hear Will Toledo in full force again. I feel like with this album you get some more traditional rock moments, which isn't a bad thing at all. I think they utilize it very well and still make it very unique. I think the concept around the album is very interesting. I've read into it a little bit more. It originally was like kind of something one of Will Toledo's great-great-grandfathers wrote, and he kind of turned it into a more modern story and context centered around just different characters and different situations, and each of these characters kind of evolve and grow, and at the end of the album it's this consensus that, you know, what the hell is happening, what's the point of anything, love. That's kind of the main message. I think that's really cool. I'm really loving it. I've had a lot of it on repeat, and yeah, I'm always happy to see Car Seat Headrest releasing some really impressive and amazing music. They're always on it. I also like CCF. That's a great album opener. I'm gonna stay with you. The Catastrophe is also really fun. Really, really cool stuff. At number 7, we have Cowards by Squid. One of my favorite bands of the 2020s. They've just been like not only one of my most listened to bands, but just one of the most interesting bands and one of the bands that just excites me the most. Every time they have something new on the way, I'm like genuinely so stoked about it. Cowards is a really interesting album, and I've seen the reception to it be not as good as their previous 2 records, but I personally freaking love it. Is it my favorite Squid album? I don't know. That might go to O Monolith, but I still just think they're nailing every aspect of their sound on this album. I wouldn't say Ollie, the vocalist, is as eccentric of a singer on this album, but I think there's more of an atmosphere that is given to us instead because of that, and I personally am completely okay with that. And I found every single song to still be incredibly engaging and so freaking cool. It's so atmospheric. It's still very jagged, still really interesting song structures, and one I've listened to a lot throughout the year. I really love Crispy Skin. That was the lead single. Again, perfectly describes the sort of like tense, anxious atmosphere that Squid always tends to nail. I love just the synths all over that freaking song. The way it develops, the horns at the end of that song, so cool. I would also throw in Showtime as one of my favorites. The freaking groove on that song, the way it develops, the way it picks up the end is so crazy. Building 650, Blood on the Boulders. I love Fieldworks 2. No duds on this album for me. And one other thing I want to bring up. I feel like this is the most interesting Squid album lyrically. Bright Green Field was more about the sound. Still some interesting, cryptic lyrics every now and then, but I think Oh Monolith upped it on the lyrical front, and I think this perfected it. They said that Oh Monolith was an album about fear, and this album is an album about evil. And when you look into the lyrics, there's so much paranoia going on through all of this. Who can you trust? What's going on? There's so much anxiety and just the day and age that we live in. I mean, the album's called Cowards for a reason. As always, the guitar work is phenomenal. Squid has some of the most interesting guitars I've ever heard in my life. If y'all are Squid fans at all, go check out their first KEXP performance where they were performing Bright Green Field songs. That might be the best online performance I've ever seen. Straight up, go check that out because it is on another level. I don't know what else truly to say. I just really like the band, and they've been a band that I've always really liked. They know what's up. And I will always be so excited to hear whatever else they are working on. Such an underappreciated band, in my opinion. This is the band Pile with their album Sunshine and Balance Beams. I honestly didn't expect this album to end up so high on my list this year, but I have non-stop listened to this album the entire year. I've loved Pile. I saw them live a while ago for their All Fiction tour, and that was an amazing show, and that's what really made me appreciate them. And then I heard this album, and I was like, this is really good. And then I just kept listening, and I'm like, wow, this is their best album. It's because I think mainly the way they use orchestration in some of their songs. There's some really cool, more tense atmospheres they can build with the string work on this album that apparently the bassist arranged. They really take things to different lengths, literally in terms of their track lengths and song structures, but just with what they can do as a band, they really expanded upon just their songwriting chops, I wouldn't say production chops, because their production's always just been kind of like the Pile sound. But yeah, they just always have that kind of specific Pile production, which is great. It's always awesome. And I think that happens to come with the way their drum sound or their drummer kind of builds their set, and also the guitar tones. Their guitar tones are very raw. Getting into the songs, the opening track, literally called An Opening, might be my favorite, thinking about it. Yeah, it's my favorite. One of their most interesting songs structurally and just parts wise. I love everything they do. As I said, I really love the orchestration with the way the violins come in towards the end, and then they have a guest vocalist for a split second towards the end that's really cool too. And then the way he screams at the end, so every now and then he'll get super screamy and just intense with it, and I love when he gets like that. But obviously it matters in the right moments, and I think he brings it out perfectly in that song. A Loosened Knot is also one of my favorites. Just a badass riff with that song, and again, the screams on that one really are awesome. Deep Clay is amazing. Bouncing in Blue is really cool. It's a really low-key song that has an insane climax. Just the builds, the payoffs, the melodies, everything. This album nails it. One of the most underappreciated indie bands, I would say. Give them a shot. Especially this new record, just nailing every aspect of that kind of indie post-hardcore that many bands try to do, and they are just doing really well. So okay, top 5. All of these albums are so fucking good, but the first one out of these 5 is the self-titled record from Racing Mount Pleasant. If you... I've compared fucking Black Country New Road to everyone so far. I'm sorry. But if you want Black Country New Road, but that Arcade Fiery indie chamber vibe and sound with horns and, tons of instrumentation, they do it, and they do it so fucking well. It's just beautiful songwriting. And it's a little bit more just straight up pretty. Than some of the earlier stuff that I was talking about. There's some really good folky moments here. I feel like the singer, one thing I will say about the singer is he's a little bit more technical. That being said, I think that it allows for some really cool textures, especially with the more folky moments on here, and I think that's really cool, like the You songs. Going through my favorites here, Call It Easy. That song, y'all. That song is the shit.
Call it easy, call it quits.
And my body's painted red. I know I'm doing a really good recreation of it right now. Amazing chorus hook. Amazing, like, just group vocal section there. But also, this song has possibly, I'm trying to think, I don't know if I can think of any other ones, possibly the best saxophone solo I've ever heard. Like, go listen to that saxophone solo. It is fucking awesome. Like, chills up and down my spine with that solo. It feels so passionate. And the way it, like, bends notes at some points, too. Insane. That song... Also, the song Emily, so emotional, so passionate with that one. I love the way the horns, like, trade off with the bursts of instrumentation at the end. So fucking climactic and theatrical. It's awesome. The title track of the title track of the title track, because it's Racing Mount Pleasant, by Racing Mount Pleasant, off of Racing Mount Pleasant. That one is also really, really fun, more energetic, and also probably one of the catchiest on the record for sure. And I was mentioning this before, but the way that sometimes albums bookend the first and the last track, matching each other in some way. Your New Place being the opening track, and Your Old Place being the closing track. Both of those are stunning. So many great crescendos. I think Your Old Place is just such a perfect closer. Not a bad moment on this album. You just love to see a band this passionate do a sound justice this well, with the kind of art rock, like chambery, post rock, like expansive sort of sound. They nail it. They nail it so damn well. Number 4. Number 15. I didn't say that at number 15, god damn it. Pain to Power by Maruja. This was a very, very highly anticipated album for many, including myself, because Maruja's just been one of the most interesting of those post-rock, post-hardcore, saxophone. They've just been one of the most exciting of those groups, and it's everything the hype was I was hoping it would be. It was everything I was hoping it would be. It is a album with some of the most expansive song structures they've ever done, by far. Whether you take a song like Look Down on Us, whether it's Born to Die, my personal favorite, Reconcile, all of those, like, they've never gone to that length in terms of literally, but also in terms of the way they expand their song structures. It's so cool. Even the more straight-to-the-point songs, like Bloodsport and Break the Tension, badass as hell. And then you have, like, a rap rock song out of nowhere, Trenches, one of the most menacing rap rock songs I've ever heard. That one's awesome. A very, very impactful album lyrically, a very relevant album lyrically, something that needs to be talked about, and I'm glad is being talked about through such a passionate band. Seeing them talk in interviews, seeing them perform, they feel it. They want love. They want, unity. It's very impactful. Just to mention a couple of my favorite moments of those songs. With Born to Die, you have, like, the build-up's cool, but the fucking breakdown and, like, the way it just randomly bursts into this insane instrumental is so cool. My favorite moment of the album, Point Blank Period. Look Down on Us, just such an insane atmosphere in the beginning, and the way it starts as a rap rock song and then keeps progressing into this huge emotional climactic moment. Amazing. Maruja, they've got it together, and they're a very hot band in the circuit right now for very good reason. Love what they're doing, love what they're saying, love what they're being. I love it all.
pretty like regular guy.
Okay, number three. Number three. This album is a mind fuck. Number three, we're gonna go with Motherfucker, I Am Both Amen and Hallelujah by Shearling. For those who don't know, there was a band called Sprain that existed, and they broke up after their second album, Lamb as Effigy, which is one of my favorite albums ever, and one of the most insane experiences I've ever had listening to music. And Alex Kent, the singer of Sprain, decided to create another band called Shearling, and that is where this album comes into play. It is an album, but it's hard calling it an album because it's one song that is, I think, an hour and 2 minutes long. An hour and 2 minutes long, and it's one song. And this thing is unrelentingly insane. What the fuck is this album? Because, like, do I like Lamb as Effigy more? Yes. But this album is such an ambitious undertaking. It is truly so mind-boggling. How do you make something like this? Seriously, I've genuinely thought about this, and I've listened to this album many different times because I find it to be, one, that cool and interesting and insane, but two, it's like you listen to these compositions and the way this album is organized, and it's genuinely like, how do you compose something like this? The answer is I have no idea. Look into Alex Kent's brain, because I don't know. First thing to note, or a couple of things to note with this album right off the bat. This is the most unhinged Alex Kent has ever sounded. I mean, if you know fucking Sprain, he was always that way. He has such frantic vocals. He sounds like he's getting stabbed in the chest repeatedly when he sings. And it's that tenfold on this album, which is crazy. And I can't tell you why that appeals to me so much. I think it's just so interesting to me, the way they perform it on this album. I would say this album also kind of has a no-wave aesthetic, specifically with the first chunk of the album. It's a rock album in that first 10 minutes, with some of the most fucked up sounding riffs I've ever heard. Oh my god. Oh my god. It goes so hard. I will probably say that is my favorite part of the album, is like the first 10 minutes, because just that instrumental and just the way he comes in, like literally singing like he's just found out everything is nothing. Like, I don't know. It is truly insane. And then you get into the more like soundscape oriented part of the album. That's kind of a big chunk of the album, which is a little bit less focused on guitar music and more focused on literally just sound effects. And there's a portion with just a banjo for a while.
Herds of bison thrust from cliffs.
And there's some really cool organs and pads thrown in there too, and sections focused on that. And then you get to like the 40-minute mark. Yes, the 40-minute mark. And that's like a whole noise section, just straight up, and like the guitars are back. And then you get like this really, really heavy breakdown section towards the 50-minute mark. And then the end of the album is just literally like a mental breakdown. So I don't know what this album is, but it's so intriguing and so insane to me that I find it to be so interesting. I know within this album there's lyrics about like sexuality, there's lyrics about religion, there's lyrics about specifically just belief outside of religion too. There's themes of like morality. There's general like conversation between like Adam and Eve and stuff like that. I don't know the message entirely. Like, I don't know what the album is trying to say. It might just be trying to put that all on a platter for you to fucking try and digest. But regardless, it is such a captivating listen that I find something new about every single time I hear it. I know they have a sister album on the way, supposedly. So we'll see what that's about. But for now, yeah, what an album. Last two. I genuinely went back and forth in my mind many different times on which one of these albums I wanted to put at number one. And they are so close to being neck and neck. I love both of these albums so much. So much. But this is what I ended up choosing as my number two pick. And that is going to be...
You saved me from a yo-yo.
Getting Killed by Geese. I love getting killed by geese, dude. It's my favorite pastime activity, dude. No, for realsies. Getting Killed by Geese, that is gonna be my number 2 pick. They generally have become one of my favorite bands ever. And Getting Killed is the album that blew them up. It is really that good, and I'm so glad Geese is getting the spotlight they deserve because they are truly an amazing band. This might be my favorite Geese album, and that is such a hard decision for me to make because I have such a personal connection with Projector, their first album too, but I really am loving this album, and I've had it on repeat ever since it's come out, and I think everyone and their dog has. So, you know, it is just one of those albums right now that everyone's talking about, and again, that's okay because it's good. What do I love about it? Just about everything. Seriously, it is a near flawless track list. Every song has grown on me since hearing it for the first time. It was so interesting with Taxes being the lead single, because that was an amazing song. Like, I love Taxes, I still love it, it's still one of my favorites on the album. But then they come out with Trinidad. That is like the noisiest left turn they could have taken, and that was their second single. After, 100 Horses, they dropped the album, and it's the opening track. And you listen to Trinidad, and then you listen to the rest of the album, and it's nothing like Trinidad at all. And just as someone who likes noisier music, I fucking fell in love with it at first sight, But I feel like it is a misleading opener, because the rest of this album is not at all like that. It's a lot more melodic, it's a lot more patient, it's a lot more groovy, and Cameron Winter is more melodic and passionate, and I mean, people have fallen in love with his voice, and it's because it's so unique and so, again, passionate. It has a resonance, it has a feel to it that is so undeniable. I will say this album feels a lot more tame in comparison to 3D Country. I would arguably say that it is more related to Projector than it is to 3D Country because of just the more toned down sound it has and the more emotional sound it has just directly. Like, a lot of these songs are very passionate and genuinely like heartfelt. I've always loved Cameron's fucking lyrics. I will tell you, Projector's lyrics, so good. And he wrote that shit at like 19. Fuck, I'm never making music again. And then here, he's 23, writing lyrics this inspirational. I could really go on about each of these tracks for forever. Like Cobra, beautiful melody, beautiful catchy song generally. Just love how clever the lyrics are. I love the you can make a cobra dance but not me. Husbands, sleeper hit, let me tell you that. Oh, God, I love the melody. I love how passionate he is. There's just so much talk about restraint and anxiety and like feeling like you have that weight within a relationship with someone. I don't know, like I really love that song and the way it progresses. Title track, kick ass. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite on here, but I know a lot of people really like that one, and it's still really good. So, Islands of Men, transcoded song. We love to see it. I mean, so groovy, so fun, just infectious vibes all around there. 100 Horses. This one's a bit of a different one in the context of things, just with it being a bit more fast-paced and kind of rambly from Cameron, kind of describing war, the general state of things around that context. There's only dance music in times of war. People must die scared or else they'll die nervous. Yeah, that's a fucking line, dude. Half Real. I know I'm going track by track here, but I feel like I kind of have to with this fucking album. Half Real is another sleeper hit. That one grew on me so much, just hearing it over and over again. It was initially easily my least favorite, and then I heard it more and more, and I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful song. You may say that our love is only half real, but that's only half true. All Pays Do Cocaine. I think that's kind of the biggest song off the album as of right now. Very justifiably so. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Man, that guitar melody is so infectious. Bow Down, another one of my favorites. Such a badass song. The grooves on that song and the switch ups. Max, the drummer, kills it everywhere on this album, and I could really say the same for every single member of the band. But I love like the synth part at the end of that song, or like the keys part. So cool. Taxes, it's fucking taxes. Like, I don't want to pay my taxes, but I'm gonna have to here soon. And then we get to my favorite song on the album, which is Long Island City, Here I Come. This is either my song of the year or a song off of the album I'm about to talk about, but the more I've heard it, the more I've dived into these lyrics, dude. There are so many one-liners on this fucking song. Let me pull up the fucking lyrics, hold on. I know I'm taking so long on this album. Sorry, hold on. Joan of Arc, she warned, the Lord has a lot of friends, and in the end he'll probably forget he's met you before. A masterpiece belongs to the dead. There are microphones under your bed, and there's footage that'll prove us both wrong. Jesus Christ. I knew a man big and fat, born without arms or legs, born to jump in the air and clap. He said, hang me from a yo-yo or a rope, and I'll be hanging by my neck all the same. It's so fucking dark, dude. Can't you see the Sunday crowds are all my concubines and my enemies? But he shall too see Long Island City eventually. Maria cried out to me, you can either leave or you can stop playing that cowbell with your gun. Like Charlemagne in Vietnam, until I get home, I am not anyone. Shut up, dude. These lyrics are too fucking real. Like, it's kind of scary how real they are. The fucking instrumentals of this song too, dude. Oh my god. The way the bass is moving, it's so deserving of being how fast it is. Like, it needs to be fast for what it's fucking talking about. Like, you're speeding towards death, basically. Man, I love it. I love this freaking song. Possibly my song of the year. It is truly one of the album closers of all time. And one thing I'll say about this album too, it feels like it's been out for so much longer than it has. Just an immediate classic. Yeah, that's my rant with Geese. Going to be excited for them going forward, obviously. I hope they don't get burned out by the touring life and the craziness that comes with fucking fame. It's fucking Geese, dude. They're the band right now. So anyway, let's move on to my number one album of the year. I love this album near and dear, and it's just one of the most impressive things I've heard in a long time, and that is going to be Vanisher, Horizon Scraper by Quadeca. Quadeca, very interesting artist to talk about. He started out as a YouTube rapper, and then I just feel like he's just continuously only gotten better. His early stuff to From Me to You, which I was hit or miss with, but I appreciated it. And then I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, which I fucking love. That album's amazing. And now Vanisher, which is, in my opinion, by far his most ambitious project, and just something that genuinely feels like you, as soon as you press play, you enter into an entirely different space and mindset. This album is an album about a sailor sets off into the ocean trying to find purpose. He's trying to chase the horizon. He's trying to scrape the horizon, try and touch something that he can't. It is such a cool concept for an album. Just the way this album creates a atmosphere, a feel, portrays it through this story is so inspiring, so beautiful, so impressive. Production on this album, the amount of instrumentation on this album is mind-boggling. It's just so inspirational, so cool to see this artist continuously gain more respect within the critical space, within the music community, just because of how passionate he is about what he is doing. The teasers for this album were incredible. I'm just gonna go down the track list again because there's so much to talk about with all of these songs. No Questions Asked is such an awesome opener. It's so atmospheric, just really sets the feel. That's the whole purpose of the song, I feel. And it's probably one of my favorites because of just how vivid and beautiful of a sound it is. It's incredible. And that goes straight into Waging War, which is also amazing, and it's featuring Oleka, which is also all throughout this album. She does the flute, I believe, on most of these songs, but she is a predominant singer on this song, mainly the chorus section, so that makes sense why she's like officially a feature. She does just an amazing job on the chorus. It's so dramatic. I love the way this song just continuously builds and shifts and evolves and changes. It's another one of my favorites. It was the first teaser I heard for this album when he was just posting snippets, and it immediately got me excited. I feel like a lot of this album lyrically, like as I go through all these songs, just so I don't have to kind of talk about it over and over again, kind of goes within the protagonist's mindset, I feel. I mean, obviously there's a little more to it, and it's all about his journey through the ocean. There's just a lot there that I don't think I'm gonna get too in depth with, because I did a whole video on this album too, but I still want to talk about just how much I truly have appreciated this album over the course of the year. Yeah, a lot of it just has to do with his mindset. Like Ruin My Life, that's more about a relationship. Beautiful guitar work, amazing switch up at the end. Godstained, the lead single, incredible song. I love how groovy that song is. I love the amount of shakers. Feels a little bit bossa nova-esque, or a little bit of a traditional sound, which is really cool. At a time like this, the fucking synth arpeggio at the end of that song is stupid, insanely good. Like it's so good it's stupid, you know what I mean? Like, how, dude? The beats, the switches, love the melodies, I love everything about that song.
I keep it on high alert. I keep on dancing till it hurts. That's how we dish.
Monday's such a sweet song, very passionate, very straight from the heart. Dancing Without Moving, so groovy, so infectious. That's why I love the piano at the end of that song. A Dream About Sinking, almost a talk song in terms of the quality of ambience we're getting with that one. Amazing stuff there. Natural Causes is probably my least favorite on the album, but it's still really good. It has a great beat and some really cool textural stuff, and I love the bass line in that one. Thunder, insanely aggressive and straight to the point. It's called Thunder for goddamn reason. Such eclectic vocals on that song specifically.
Bring that out of me. You bring that out of me. You bring that out of me.
But now we're getting to the rocky territory of the ocean for sure. Leading into the great Bakunawa with Danny Brown, who plays a mythical dragon who eats moons. That is who Danny Brown plays in this fucking album, which, is there anything more badass than that? But this is kind of our main antagonist outside of like his own mental collapse, the protagonist here. Whether the dragon is real, that's left up to interpretation, I feel. It could be metaphorical, it could be physical. Maybe the thunder and the storm that is brought through on track 11 is kind of foreshadowing and introducing the chaos that is going to unfold, you know? Great Bakunawa, dude. Beat is so hard. I love Danny Brown, and it's kind of cheesy, like just a little bit, but like it's so fun. I almost imagine it as like a Disney villain. I don't know. It doesn't get to me that much. I think it's just fun. I think it's really fun. But then we get to the last two tracks, which are by far my favorites. Actually, I wouldn't say by far because I love the whole thing, but definitely my favorites on the album. You have Foregone, which is such a important song to the narrative because it is a song dedicated to the horizon. And I think it's so beautiful the way it's done, because not only was he trying to reach the horizon, but he recognizes that this horizon, this sun, and what he's trying to scrape will be there after he's gone. Through it all, you are the one that remains. It's a love song to the horizon, which I find to be so emotional. I have teared up multiple times hearing Foregone. It is such a beautiful song. The way he sings, dude, it is passionate. This album is so good. It feels like his magnum opus, you know? I've seen some people make the argument towards this album that he's trying too hard to make a classic. I understand why people say that, but to me, it all feels like a personal display of passion. And that's what really, truly makes this album so special to me. I think it's so inspirational and cool when someone clearly pours their heart out into something like this, and it actually turns out to be as good and just inspirational and beautiful as it can be, you know? That's my spiel there, but Foregone is just an incredibly beautiful ballad with such a great ending too, with the acoustic guitars and how the instrumentation lifts up. It's incredible. And then we get to the last song, which I was saying earlier, this is either my song of the year or Long Island City, but Casper featuring Maruja. I just talked about Maruja and how great their other album was, but their contribution to Casper is fucking insane. This is the most important song narratively because it's the end of the album and it's the end of everything. Whether you believe it to be a mental collapse or a physical one where the Bakunawa destroys everything, this is the end of the album. And Harry, the singer of Maruja, he serves as kind of a narrator for this song. I could be such a nerd about it and go on and on about the lyrics, but I'll leave it at that. He does such a great job at wrapping up the album and the themes and the overall insanity that this protagonist goes through. That is matched with some of the most intense instrumentation I have ever heard. I am not bullshitting. The whole first section of the song is beautiful, where it's Quadeca singing, just so enchanting and gorgeous, and then we start to turn that atmosphere into tension, where Harry comes in and starts doing his spoken word section, and from there it slowly grows a little bit and then it just stops, and then you hear 2 drum clicks. Immediately the tension is rising. It was tense before, but now it's like, oh shit, like something's about to go down, dude. And so you get this shaker. Huge shout out to the fucking shaker in this song. Whoever played that shaker, their arm must have been so sore. And then the drums pick up, and I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like just this weird, like this low, like guttural sort of thing that comes in. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's electronic or an instrument or what, but it comes in and it's so cool. It's so dramatic, and it just gets more and more intense. And then by the end of the song, it is one of the coolest things I've ever heard in audio. Everything just starts fucking hitting so hard, fucking slamming and crashes of instrumentation, and you have like these swelling like strings or something that just get more and more intense as it keeps crashing. And then is at the end of the song, the audio dips in and out of the water. Like it sounds like this lightning is crashing down, or this storm, or this fucking end of everything is crashing down, and it dips into the water and then back out of the water. I've never heard any song ever do it the way that Quadeca and Maruja do it with this track. Fucking insane. Like, my jaw was on the floor. Again, that's the end of the album, and it's the end of everything. It's the end of the story. The thing is, it loops, which I find to also be very interesting. And you could see that in so many different ways. You could see it as the cycle of just behavior, and we are always trying to search for something greater. We are trying to find purpose. Or you could see it as the inevitable end of everything. Like, you know, I don't know. It's so interesting to think about, and it is my album of the year. And I'm gonna fix my camera. Why is it doing that? Banisher Horizon Scraper by Quadeca. Go give it a fucking listen if you haven't, because it might change your life. Truly, it is a one-of-a-kind album. And with that, I'm going to leave it there because I've been recording for 3.5 hours. We'll see how long the video ends up being. I feel like most of this video was just the last half of me just ranting about how much I love these albums, and I'm such a nerd about it. I really am, but I just love music, and I love how inspirational music can be today. It always upsets me, or at least just like peeves me a little bit, when someone says there's no good music today, or there's no good music coming out today, because that is the biggest lie I've ever heard. I feel like music today is just as inspirational as it has ever been, outside of, you know, the terrifying threat of AI music and threatening fucking artistic integrity and the beauty in making art. Don't get me started on that, you know. But yeah, I love music, dude, and this year's been so great for music, or at least 2025. It's 2026 now, as of me recording this. It creates so much passion and beauty within the art sphere. That was me just being a little more ranty, but music is everything to me, so I just, that's why I get so passionate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video serves as kind of like, oh, if you don't know one of these albums or you want to check it out, it serves as kind of a list of stuff to listen to maybe. Again, that playlist will be in the description of the video, showing my favorite song off of not only these albums, but every album I listen to from 2025. If you just want more music to listen to, more recommendations, that's all there. But again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for sticking with me through the year. I'm hoping to be a little bit more active in 2026. We'll see. Life happens. But again, I really do appreciate y'all so much for being here. I've said it many times, but y'all are awesome, and I'm very grateful to have a channel like this and have a platform like this. Thank y'all so much for being awesome. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.